Hey chippy lovers, Theo here from Hot Chips. We've got another giveaway coming up thanks to Playtech and Intel, who've given us 5 game codes, each containing Counter-Strike Global Offensive and Just Cause 3. To enter, all you have to do is comment on the next 4 videos coming up in the next fortnight. That's March 3rd. For the last day for entries, including this one right here, so comment down below, and for the winner we'll send you a YouTube message and let you know that you've won, as well as announce it I think on the video afterwards. We'll see, we'll play around with it. Anyway, enjoy the video and go like Intel and Playtech Facebook pages, all their social media, as a huge thanks for letting us give these codes away and get you guys some games. Links in the description below and on the screen. I'll put them here. Awesome. Cheers, enjoy the video.
Hello everyone, welcome to Hot Chips, where we talk about things that we decide to talk about, and you listen in and you enjoy it. And if you like it, then subscribe, and we have new videos coming out every Tuesday and Thursday.
And we've actually managed to do that for like 2 weeks.
Which is awesome.
Well done
We're on
us.
schedule.
Well done us.
Yeah.
So today, we are talking about our dream sequels, games that don't exist but could and should exist. We're going to be quite lenient on the rules. And just each to their own, really. So, does anyone want to start?
Me? Wow. In the hot seat. There's heaps of games I've been gaming for so long that there's heaps of games that have come and gone that haven't had sequels that I would love to see sequels to.
Pac-Man.
No, that's a great example of a game that shouldn't have had a sequel but has had great sequels.
Mrs. Pac-Man.
Deliverance.
Has Mrs. Pac-Man had a sequel?
I don't know.
I don't think she has.
What's the difference between Mrs. Pac-Man and Pac-Man?
One
bow?
has
A bow, yeah.
I think it's the
Come on,
bow,
Jordan.
right?
Oh, I don't know.
Bow and lipstick? Does she have
Yeah,
lipstick?
maybe.
You can't see that in the graphic,
And
surely.
I think she's got
Yeah.
eyelashes.
Yeah,
Pretty
well, in the box art, yeah.
Yeah.
But I think in the actual old school she had lipstick
Yeah,
in the
you
bow.
can.
Oh, really?
In
Yeah.
slightly different times?
Maybe?
Pac-Man never had eyes.
Have spent too long talking about Mrs. Pac-Man.
So there's other little ones, kind of like Lemmings. Like I would love to see
yeah.
a modern day Lemmings. That would just be fantastic.
That would be cool.
There's
There's
a
been some
PS
attempts.
Yeah, there was a PS3 one.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I used to have the theme on my PS3 background, and just a quick, you don't want this theme.
Right.
Because for some reason, it had the theme song that would play, and it was 100 times louder than like anything else. And so it would just
Did
go...
you not adjust that?
No, it was real weird.
And what were the controls? Because obviously it would have been a controller, right?
It was hard to play.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But did the graphics look the same? Or did they modernize them? Like,
It was quite modern.
oh, I might have to look
a bit
into
more
it.
cartoony.
That's kind of cool.
It was really hard to play. You had to
Yeah, they
you couldn't blockers and stuff. You'd miss
Yeah.
them and they'll fall off.
Right. Because I think they did everything they could do with it, and then they released like 3D Lemmings in like the 90s when everything was
Yeah.
going 3D, and it was terrible.
Yeah.
But anyway, so the game.
Oh, God.
Anyway,
Good old
Yeah.
Worms
that's not
3D.
what we hoped for.
But for the one that I would love to see, not remade, a sequel to would be Beyond Good and Evil. The game that came out basically on, I think it was on PS2, GameCube, Xbox One, Xbox One, the first Xbox.
The original.
Right.
Not Xbox One.
Xbox
One
OG.
Xbox, yeah. And it came out to very little fanfare because basically Ubisoft really had like a schedule of like 4 games, I think it was. They released 13, which was a cel-shaded first-person shooter.
Yeah.
Beyond Good and Evil, and I think there was one or
Two Souls?
Not
Beyond Two Souls? Because was that part of the Beyond series, or was it
No,
just a
nothing.
separate thing?
Completely separate.
Okay, because I watched over that game.
So they had like 3 or 4 games, and they put all of their marketing into 2 or 3 of them, and left the other 2 with no marketing budget. And so Beyond Good and Evil came out for $20 US, and it was basically a Zelda-style game that had stealth and a female protagonist. And it was all about like getting into places and taking photos so you could prove this big conspiracy was going on. And it was amazing. Had one of the most insanely awesome intros to any game I've ever played. And it came out at a time where it should have had way more sort of people following it. I think it'd be the kind of game you'd
Sounds
be
cool.
right
Yeah, I
into.
kind of want it. Yeah.
And you can get it. They've released it on Xbox Arcade, I think, as well. So they've got
I
an
had
HD
an
version
original
of it.
Xbox, but I just never.
Yeah.
I had such a narrow. I was pretty much like a cone on my face when I started gaming.
Right,
so,
right.
Yeah, I didn't know that existed.
Yeah.
Cool.
So they had like the intro of the game basically involved Jade, who was the female protagonist, getting some of these kids that lived with her basically kidnapped by aliens. It's not on Earth. It's on this completely different
sounds
planet.
amazing.
Where there are like
This is
animal...
mine now too. Everything that he's saying, me too.
And there were like all of the characters were human animal hybrids. Like there were like the Jade's best friend was a pig, like with the name Paige. But the starting ones, when the kids are kidnapped, she pulls out this massive stick like baton and starts attacking these aliens. But it goes into slow-mo and this choir picks up.
I'm going to go buy this.
Yeah.
I'm out.
One of the coolest intros ever, and I loved it from start to finish. And there's been talk of there being a sequel being made. Michel Ancel, the guy from Ubisoft, who's done Rayman and all that, he was the creator of it. And he's every E3, people are like, is there going to be a new Beyond Good and Evil?
Now that's going to be me too.
And they've had small videos leaked as well of what a sequel could look like, and it looks amazing, and it's just dead in the water, like it isn't happening.
Is there any reason why? Like, why no sequel?
Because it didn't sell well.
Yeah, I was going to say it probably.
And it didn't sell well because they put all of their marketing into the other games that were coming out at the same time.
It's kind of like a Mirror's Edge scenario, right?
It's absolutely like Mirror's Edge.
But they got a sequel, so there is hope.
So Michel Ancel said recently that it is still being worked on, but he's been saying that since like 15 for the last 10, 15 years now.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's my game. The day that comes out, it will be huge for me when that comes out. Yeah. Massive. Dream
You really sold it to me.
Yeah, yeah. It's fantastic.
So what about you, Amy?
Well, so that.
There.
I want that one.
Yeah.
I want that one. When we were having a conversation about what games we wished had for sequels for, I kind of decided that I don't deserve a sequel because every single game that I've ever wanted there to be a sequel to, it has pretty much happened. So everything. That
What are some examples of
like
ones that you
Tomb
wanted?
Raiders, like I just keep the gift that keeps on giving. I forever will get them. Just everything that I play, pretty much.
Are you trying to
is
avoid
sequelized.
saying The Sims?
Yes. And even like Ni no Kuni there's a sequel
true.
coming out. It could have been a good one. Like there's just. Yeah, I just am really lucky. Mortal Kombat coming out in my ears, like it's just always been the games that I like. Sequels are always made, and I can't think of anything except for Jordan's one that I would want a sequel for. Yeah.
But yourself, Theo?
Oh, I'm going into BioWare territory. I'm going into RPG territory. So my what is it? Desired
Dream
sequel is Jade Empire. If anyone's ever played that, and it was actually free on Origin, I think, for a time, 2 years ago.
Yeah.
So I picked it up on there as well. Again, I played it back in the golden days, whatever it is. But it's a third-person martial arts RPG kind of.
It's kind of like
yeah.
Is it kind of like Tenchu? Do you remember Tenchu?
I do not remember Tenchu.
You were like a ninja and you jump around on the rooftops.
No, it'll be nothing like that. So it's
It's like Mass Effect. It's like a Mass Effect style game. It's the same developer.
Yeah, in a way.
Right?
You even have dialogue options. And stuff like that to an extent. You can build your character. And
So it's a classic BioWare game.
yeah, classic BioWare game. And it kind of set quite a lot of the formulas, but it was one of those under the radar games that it was a cult kind of classic.
Yeah.
But it was very much beyond. Good and evil. I was going to say Two Souls. But yeah, so you collect different martial arts styles, so you can switch between them in combat, and you can roll around and do that kind of stuff.
That's cool.
But it's not as fluid as like some of the ninja games you were referring to. I was trying to think of one that I could compare.
Yeah, so it's more like Dragon Age kind of. It's combat, but it's not like it's like.
It's not
Yeah,
the main
I was
part
going
of
to say
it,
like
it's
nothing like Ninja Gaiden or
Yeah.
all those kind of
Right.
things. So it's
Not a
very
button
kind of
masher.
slow paced, and you lock onto something and you move in and you move out and you kind of skirt around them. You can transform into golems and things like that. It's really, really cool. The story's amazing, and you can kind of you kind of have love interest, all that kind of stuff. But Nathan Fillion is a villain in it. He's the first villain.
Oh, really?
And that I didn't get that when I first played through. And then when I was reading about it one day, like a couple of years ago, it was kind of, I wish Jade Empire had a sequel. And then I just read sort of the voice actors. I was like, what? Went back and played it, and I was like, what? Because you don't pick it up when you just look at his
That's
face.
really cool.
But he uses his regular voice. He doesn't use a kind of modified voice. It's amazing hearing it.
Nathan Fillion only really has one.
Yeah.
He's only
I
Nathan
know.
Fillion. He's just Mal everywhere.
Mal.
Captain Mal.
I always forget his name and I do call him Mal. I had to write it down. That's why I got notes. You guys don't need notes. I have no memory.
Oh, I have a stack of notes for one of
I
them.
would actually, I'd love to see BioWare kind of take their kind of storytelling and stuff to more interesting genres. Because I feel like Dragon Age and Mass Effect, while they're good games, in a way, they're very safe. You know, you got your space one and you've got your fantasy one.
Jade Empire was that.
Yeah.
It really, really
It's kind
was.
of real out there compared to what was.
The only
Still
reason
done it.
I didn't play it was that the loading screens killed me. It was you'd walk into an area and it'd be 30 seconds of loading. Then you realise, there was actually a chest back there or something I didn't get back there. So
You
you'd
have
go
to go
back,
back,
30
loading.
seconds loading. Then you'd get it and then you'd go back to where you were, 30 seconds loading. And I played for a couple of hours and I was just like, I really appreciated what it was. I loved how it looked. I loved how it played, but the loading killed me.
So 2 questions then from me. When did it come out?
Xbox
crap.
One.
I don't know,
Oh,
yeah.
sorry. First Xbox.
Yes,
Xbox
it
original.
came out on Xbox.
The
I love
original
it.
Xbox.
The
original
original
Xbox.
Xbox, yeah.
Yeah, and-
the Xbox.
Second question, how likely do you think it is that they'll make a sequel?
Actually pretty likely.
Yeah.
Just in consideration that it's people have talked about it quite a lot. They're still talking about it and they're still pushing BioWare for news about it. And there has been some speculation that it's being worked on, but it has never been confirmed. There's kind of like random screenshots here and there, and kind of like Half-Life 3, which I do want to give a special mention to. Random screenshots here and there.
Obviously, yeah.
But the reason I haven't got it as my dream sequel is because I'm kind of sick of the whole it's been so long and it's just this big cult thing that I don't want to blow it up even more. But I can't just do it.
I should have.
Doesn't really. But also special mentions Battlefield 2142. And the Burnout sequel after Paradise. They haven't had anything
right.
for a
I feel
while.
like there is a Burnout sequel.
No, there are sequels, but after Paradise there hasn't been much for
I
a
thought-
very long time.
The whole
So
team got
cheating, exactly.
Yeah, the whole team got they got purchased by EA. And they made Burnout Paradise.
Yeah.
And now all they do is make Need for Speed games.
Sucks.
The Burnout games are amazing. Oh yeah, I'm with you on that one. I'd love to have a new Burnout sequel.
Interesting.
Yeah, Theo.
Jordan.
Jordan.
That was a Theo. Great work, Theo.
Snowy Madre.
Amy.
Right here.
I mean,
Hello, Miss Jordan.
Janet.
Shannon.
Amy, I mean Janet.
I'm just going to call you anything. Horden is what my phone keeps putting you as.
Really? Why is that a thing?
Jordan is a who?
Sadly, today we need to announce that Reagan has verbal dyslexia.
Yeah, he's also a big Dr. Seuss fan, so the phone is just auto-correcting to Horden the whole time.
Horden.
Anyway, so I've grown up in the golden era of sequels, which is both a blessing and a curse, I guess. Pretty much all the games I like and remember playing have had sequels, and the game that I want a sequel to was no different. This game had sequels, and it had 2 good sequels and then many bad sequels. And that's Crash Bandicoot. So the original Crash Bandicoot games, obviously by Naughty Dog. The first one is brilliant. I've gone back and played that multiple times, and 2 good. 3 was awesome as well. And then Naughty Dog no longer developed them, and they went off to different studios, and they became became really gimmicky and cartoony and childish to me. And I feel like we need a new Crash Bandicoot that goes back to the roots, because we're kind of missing good 3D platformers these days. 3D platformers was something that was really big when the PlayStation 1 came out, because we had really good 2D platformers. And then all of a sudden we had these advanced 3D graphics, and you could have more of an environment, and Mario 64 was another one. And all of a sudden, 3D platformers kicked off, and they were really big for a long time, and then they've died now, and we don't really see many good 3D platformers come about. And the ones that do come out do seem gimmicky. They're quite cartoony. They're not very skill based. It's more about just playing through without a challenge. It's the way I kind of feel about 3D platforms these days. Right. Whereas if you go back and play the original Crash Bandicoot games, they are quite challenging, and it goes back to those basics of run, jump, spin. Basically. And I think I'd love to see a challenging 3D platformer come back, and I think we could revive that.
I was having this conversation with another friend who also was very passionate about the Crash Bandicoot sequel. And we were kind of saying, like, what we loved about Crash Bandicoot is its simplicity, almost, in terms of mechanic and gameplay style. Will a sequel that is made today fulfill that almost desire? Like, will it actually fulfill that kind of...
And that's what I'm saying, because they could easily bring out a Crash Bandicoot sequel this year and it not be good.
Yeah.
Tony Hawk.
Yeah.
Like it could come out and have 12 characters from the Crash Bandicoot universe,
And like
they're all
18
your
different
friends.
gameplay mechanics.
Yeah, that's it. And he's got a
Yeah.
skateboard, and you can
Yeah.
like skateboard and stuff. Like in 3, there were some cool features that you earned throughout the worlds. Like he got a bazooka, but they kind of added to the game. They didn't make it gimmicky, which was quite skillfully done, I thought, because that could have gone the other way.
Yeah, my hope is that they don't add too much to it, which sounds like a weird hope, but that's what I would want.
Yeah.
I would want it not to be too superfluously new.
So really going back to the instead of like taking off from where it finished. So actually like going straight back to the start instead of going, well, what was in the last one? Let's add more onto that.
Yeah.
I would really like to see remastered, and when I say remastered, I mean like fully remastered, built from the ground up, remake of the original.
Yeah.
I think that would be really
And I think that would sell really well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I never played any of the Crash Bandicoot games, but that would be a game I would jump on if it was remastered.
You never played Crash
I
Bandicoot?
never had a PlayStation 1.
That's no excuse.
we
I'm
all
not
have
going to
Actually,
say
you're
why.
right. You're actually right because I even though I didn't have one, I still played all the Resident Evil games and stuff.
You've
I
played
found ways
like
to.
up 10 bazillion
Yeah.
games I've never even freaking heard of, but
Yeah.
you've not played Crash Bandicoot.
Haven't played a single Crash Bandicoot.
What the shit?
Yeah, I've maybe played 3 rounds of Crash kart racing.
CTR.
Yeah, CTR. That's a good game as well.
Yeah. Crash
Doesn't
Team
really
Racing.
Of
count.
course, catching in on the whole Mario Kart kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's very much that rivalry going
That's
on.
the only karting game I've really seen that's kind of come close to capturing what Mario Kart
But
does.
also, I've found in my research, people have often either played Mario Kart
Yeah.
or Crash Team.
Oh, not both.
I was neither. I was Diddy Kong Racing.
Diddy Kong Race.
Diddy Kong Racing was amazing because it actually had like a
lovely.
single player story as well as having the multiplayer
so did
side of things.
CTR.
And it was amazing. It was so good. And so then I went to Mario Kart and I was like, well, this is boring. This is just like me versus this is boring. I need something more than this.
This is so
Mario Kart
cuts.
just nails the mechanics. The gameplay mechanics of Mario Kart are
Yeah.
just so good.
I
Little
didn't
Big
feel
Planet karting came out a couple of
Right.
years ago, and
it?
it just felt.
Yeah.
It was just like didn't feel right. It was so slow and like
I don't
Yeah,
Need that
it's
nice
just-
play
that
it.
burnout feel.
yeah.
Yeah.
You need those drifties going.
Yeah.
I didn't connect with Mario Kart until 8 on the Wii U. Like that
Oh,
was
yeah.
the first Mario Kart game
wow.
I've purchased ever. I love it now. Yeah.
Interesting.
Bring me another Diddy Kong Racing. That's another dream sequel right
Yeah.
there. That would be amazing. They brought it out on DS, I think. But I want like a made for console.
You want like a Wii? You
Oh,
want an
that'd be a-
NX Diddy Kong?
That would be amazing. But that was rare, so they're not going to be doing anything because they forgot how to make games.
Could you see it as like a Diddy Kong Racing like DLC pack for Mario Kart?
Oh, that would be amazing. That would be so good.
Yeah.
Don't encourage them. It's going to be Smash Brothers. You're going to get to buy all the characters.
Yeah, I'd do that. I would absolutely do that. If they brought out
We
a
already
40...
buy things.
Nintendo, can you release a $40 DLC pack with all of the Diddy Kong Racing characters and
I'd
the
also
tracks?
buy that.
I'd
Hands
be
up,
on that.
I'd buy that.
I'd be on that in a
Awesome.
second.
We
Yeah.
would all buy that.
Quick question.
Yeah.
Knack. What did you think of Knack?
I never played it.
Talking about the whole. Never played it.
No, I there was one where we could probably talk about this at another time, but there was one where I watched reviews and then
Yeah.
I made my decision based on the reviews.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
Because it got really badly
Yeah.
panned,
It
but it was
did,
meant to be
it
really
did.
good. Like people
Yeah.
liked
Yeah.
it, critics
Yeah.
hated it.
All of the demos at like E3, all the showcases and everything, they were amazing. They played
Yeah.
really well. So I'd never played the full game, but I played the demos and they played so well. It was coined Knack Souls because of its difficulty.
Oh,
and I
really?
thought that
Knack
was really
Souls.
cool. And that's kind of its feel. It's very much that Crash Bandicoot but for the real crowd. And I think that's half of a reason why we think some of the 3D platforms today are kind of crap and we want other stuff and it might not work is because they were for
I'm excited about Ratchet Clank.
Yeah.
This year. No, sorry.
Ratchet
Yeah,
Clank.
Ratchet Clank.
I'm more excited
Is it
for
a
Banjo
remaster?
Kazooie.
No, it's a brand new game.
Oh right.
So that might bring back a bit of the 3D platforming genre.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, and I feel like he has a good feel. I've
Although they
liked
have
a couple of those games.
cranked on for year and year out.
Yeah.
And they're basing it on the movie. This
Yeah, that's
game,
right.
eh?
Yeah.
Which will be interesting to see how
Yeah.
that ties together.
Yeah, it's going to be one to watch.
Yeah, and then there's the new one by the guys that made Banjo Kazooie.
Yes.
They're releasing
Oh, yeah.
the new one that they got kickstarted.
What's it called? I keep forgetting.
I don't know.
just
It's like
keep
a
calling it
bat
the new
and a
Banjo-Kazooie.
chameleon, and it's even the name.
Banjo
even
Mazooie.
It sounds like two
Yeah.
instruments as well.
Yeah, I
so
can't
I can't
remember.
remember the name of it though.
It's a blatant rip-off.
Well, it's
By
it's,
them.
It's
Yeah.
it's a spiritual
really,
successor.
yeah.
That's what it
Yeah,
is.
you stole my
Because
trademark.
the recent iterations of it from a different developer, right? They didn't fly very well, did they?
They made Rare. That was still Rare, so it was the original developers made
right.
Banjo-Kazooie nuts and bolts on
yeah.
on the Xbox 360, I think it was. And fans of the original Banjo-Kazooie, including myself, got super excited when they first showed off the first trailer. The characters looked a little different, but it looked alright. Then it was just all about building cars and racing,
Yeah.
and I'm like, what? What?
And on that level of disappointment, we might
Anyway.
leave it there for today.
Yeah.
So tell us in the comments what your dream
Yeah.
sequel would be and why. And come back every Tuesday and Thursday for more.
Please. Please do that.
We're not begging, but
Check us out on Twitter, like and
Please do it.
subscribe. Let us know if you have any topics you want us to discuss. If we
Yeah.
can discuss them, we'll have a look.
Yeah, for sure.
Alright. See ya.
Apparently
no,
not.
it's impossible to get a still for the video most times. Just because when everyone else is smiling, Jordan's like.